when we talked about it, because one of the things I do when I take somebody through the process is I say, imagine yourself in a room full of your ideal clients. And you stand up and you say, hey, I believe that success happens when we challenge the status quo. And how I do that is by making sense of the complex and challenging. And what I bring are solutions with depth and breadth. Half the room is going to love it. And half the room is not. And you want to work with the half that loves it. The ones that are going to come up to you at the end of your keynote, and they're going to come up and say, hey, I want to hear more about how you challenge the status quo. I want to hear more about how you solve problems. I want to hear more about how you bring depth and breadth. And the people that don't want it, they're just going to say, you know what, that's not for me. And that's okay, right? In the book I'm reading, Dan Sullivan talks about the 80-20. So you work with the 20% that really resonate with you, and you let go of the 80% that don't. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
I want to say you not only let them go, but you serve them. This is about service. We are in a service industry. You serve them by saying, hey, you are welcome to be here. You are welcome to join my circle. You are welcome to ride this wave with me. You're also welcome to stand back and save yourself the headache of not doing this. So not only are you informing them, giving them some manner of informed consent. If you're by me at this party, here's what we're going to be doing and talking about. You serve them by saying, this probably isn't going to bring a lot of joy to you. It's probably not a good use of your time. And so these days, Dan, part of your influence is that if I am at a social event and someone comes over and, you know, let's say they want to talk about movies and pop culture and such. Awesome. I'm so excited that brings you joy. It does not for me. If we want to be together, you know, I'm going to ask you why you like that artist. What is it about their, let's say their music that speaks to you? What is it about their peers that don't? You know, I want to understand this, but I don't want to share, you know, the ending to this TV show because that's just not for me. And as off-putting as that sounds as a story, people will frequently be like, that is so cool. Tell me more about that. Some people will say, I get it, man. I absolutely get it. I'm going to go get some punch. Like, life is good. So thank you for the detour. I'll come back to your original question, which is how my position and my why operating system align. I don't know if this aligns naturally or if it's sort of been bent into shape, but I see an almost linear alignment, almost parallel to a very large degree. Stakeholder-centered coaching is by definition quite a contrarian concept, right? Most coaching starts at the inside. Most leadership assessments start with your inside. YOS starts with your inside. What's your attitude? What's your perspectives? What's your paradigm? How authentic do you show up? What are your motivators and your drivers? And that's all great. And the idea is if you can calibrate that internally, that will eventually radiate out to your behaviors, and eventually that will be observed by others. Stakeholder-centered coaching goes the opposite. It says, Dan, as a leader, you are paid for how you behave. The organization does not care how you feel about this project. They care how you behave, and that the way you behave reaches that conclusion. That is phenomenally contrarian, and I'll tell you, it gives a massive headache to my research teams, to my academic teams who are like, well, you know, is this a leadership development process? It is. Why do we call it a coaching process? Because people don't do it. You need a coach to help you do this. 5% of people can look at the model and say, I get it. I'm going to do it. Alan Mullally was one of those. Very few people are. And so first challenge, hey, we are not just challenging an entire industry of coaching. We're challenging the industry of leadership. The industry of employee engagement, the industry of communication, of facilitation and training. But if you're going to do that, you better come with your homework. You better have all of the research done. You better be conducting new research to stay ahead of the game. You need to be producing that and making it public so that people can see you're not just having a nice idea, you're actually empirically backing that up. And as you're doing that, you need to establish mastery in this very niche that you understand. You need to apply making sense to the fringe, and fringe meaning anything outside of that niche that you're working on. That's other coaching models, methodologies, leadership processes. And you have to have mastery of how you describe what you've made sense and why you are challenging the status quo. So for me, this is frankly a dream come true. It's a dream job for me. But that's not the best thing. The best thing that I enjoy about this job is working with great people who are, of course, we've got phenomenal leaders in our network, but we have incredible coaches who are here every day showing up to change the world in a measurable way. And no other coaching group, no other leadership group can make that claim, but we're backing it up, and we are each becoming masters one day at a time, just like yourself.